Hello and welcome to the Adam Thomas Music Channel. Now up until very recently, the only place you could have found my videos is here on YouTube, assuming you're actually watching this video on YouTube. As now I've actually spread my videos across two other platforms. And these platforms are LBRY, LBRY, and Dailymotion. Now I'm going to get a little bit more into these particular choices in a minute, but one thing I just wanted to talk about is why just two, and why not just stick on YouTube? So I thought just two to begin with. I'd looked at quite a few, and I'm going to go into why I picked these ones and why I didn't pick potential other ones, as I didn't want to stay just on YouTube because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Say something went wrong with YouTube, say as someone who has done covers in the past, say copyright claims and things like that could affect me. I want there to be other platforms where I can put my videos. But I only went with two as I don't want to sort of spread everything out too thin. I want it to be a little bit more easy to manage, and I thought just three platforms is a good idea. To go with the old analogy about royal families, after YouTube I wanted there to be an heir and a spare. So of course there is also the big elephant in the room of just why would you go with anything other than YouTube? And it is true that everything else below YouTube is minuscule by comparison. YouTube has like almost a monopoly on video sharing across the internet. And it has loads of great content. It is 100% my favourite website. When I boot up my web browser, I almost always want to visit YouTube at some point during my browsing session. But that doesn't mean it's without its faults. As I mentioned earlier, some record labels can get a little bit copyright claim happy with other musicians, especially smaller musicians, where if I do a cover, for example, I can get copyright claimed, and you know, if you get enough copyright claims, you're out. I've only done a couple of covers you can see on my channel. I tend to want to do more stuff based on, you know, guitars, hardware, or my own music in particular, rather than focusing loads on just doing covers of other things. So they are fun to do, and they almost always get recognised by the copyright software. And I always say it's a cover, and it's always fine. It just means that any ad revenue goes to them. But no sort of strikes. But of course, if you get, I think it's 3 copyright actual strikes, then you can be out. And I know there are some cases, obviously, as you probably know from various court cases, of arguments as to whether, you know, ideas that sound kind of close to other people's ideas, whether it's stealing, whether it's just coincidence. It could be a very muddy situation to be in. And so I feel as a musician that there's always kind of the axe over your head when you're on YouTube of that copyright strike and those copyright claims being a perpetual threat. So I thought I'd want to set up somewhere else, so that currently they will have my video library as it already is, and they'll expand, and if anything were to happen to the channel, they'd already have my videos uploaded on other platforms. And of course, another big thing that people have a problem with when it comes to YouTube is their track record in the past for censorship. So all these things sort of accumulate together as a reason why I just like to have a couple of backups, and a couple of websites, and of course a little while ago I did a video which you can see up here where under YouTube's old policy my channel was monetized, and you know, it wasn't making a huge amount of money a year, but it was still making me some money off all the effort I've been putting into this. But then they moved the goalposts, and hopefully soon if I can get over 1,000 subscribers. I'm currently on 817, so if you enjoy this, please consider subscribing. But right now I'm going to have to get up to that point for me to start getting monetized again. Whereas a lot of these other platforms, or specifically the two ones I've chosen, you can get monetized basically from the start, and so that's another reason to want to have backups and other places where you're uploading your videos. So let's have a look at these two platforms, shall we? The first I've gone for is apparently the second most popular video uploading, video streaming platform on the internet, which is actually Dailymotion, which I've heard actually is more popular in France than YouTube is. So bonjour to any French viewers I have there. If you'd like to watch my videos on Dailymotion rather than on YouTube, then I'm currently in the process of putting all the videos over there right now. A small downside of them is I can only upload about 10 videos a day. So right now, as of the date of this recording, I've only just started getting videos from 2020 in there. And you can find all my videos in there, apart from covers, as I've been looking up stuff over there and I haven't been able to see that there's much of a sort of culture of having musical covers over there, so I'm not sure if they have slightly different copyright rules on Dailymotion compared to YouTube. So I'm not going to be putting those on there, but all my other videos going forward are going to be on there. And my other choice is the sort of kind of decentralised LBRY, or it's pronounced LBRY. And believe it or not, since I've actually opened up accounts on both Dailymotion and on LBRY, and including YouTube, in my current state of monetization YouTube, the platform that I'm making the most money on currently is LBRY, even though it's not a huge amount at the moment, but it's there. LBRY's a really nice sort of up-and-coming platform. I think it's one of the ones that could be. A lot of people talk about like YouTube killers and like other ones. I know there's like other ones like BitShoot that people tend to talk about a lot, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. But I feel that LBRY is quite a strong contender, And yeah, I've already got 3 followers over there, so if you've got a library account, then please by all means follow me on there as well. And that has all my videos. And the good thing about that is, whenever I upload a video to YouTube, a couple of hours later, it should get uploaded just automatically to Library. So if you enjoy my videos and you already have accounts on Dailymotion or Library, then please go and follow me on there as well. Or if you're one of these people that sort of is becoming a bit disenfranchised with Google and wants to sort of move away from them into other services, I'd recommend Dailymotion, I'd recommend Library. I actually really like Library, but I'm going to not really try to show a bias towards the two of them. All my videos going forward are going to be uploaded onto both of them, so you can just take your pick of which you enjoy. But I do ask that if you do have accounts on those sites as well, and you're already subscribed to me, that you'd consider subscribing or following me on those as well. Now earlier on I did mention that there were other platforms I'd considered moving to, and I'm just going to sort of point out 2 big ones and just say why I hadn't moved to them yet. The first one is Peertube, which is a far more decentralised. This is actually federated, so if you know stuff about the Fediverse, I'm actually going to be talking about that a little bit later in the video about the general channel update. Rather than just being a single website, rather than just being Peertube, there's multiple different like instances, or like federated instances they're called, of basically people's own personal versions of the server which you can access. And you'd upload on there, but you can then be seen on all the other platforms. The reason I didn't go with this one is I found it a bit confusing as to which federation I should actually, host my own videos on. And the other thing is a lot of them tend to have upload limits. Some of them actually have upload limits to the point where I wouldn't even be able to put all my videos so far onto them. And also another issue was it's not very clear how the monetization works over now. I'm not sure a lot of instances even have it. It seems to be a little bit more hobbyist, and of course, I do this as part of my passions, music and everything, but at the end of the day, if I can be paid for this, then hey, that's always going to be better, and I think that is always going to be a thing that draws people to uploading on sites like that. So that's a little thing that sort of put me off that, although I am actually willing to come back and give Peertube another look maybe in the future. And the other big platform I was looking at, which seems like a sort of a bigger YouTube competitor, is BitShoot, where the uploading scheduling seems really good in the sense that it has the same thing that Library has, where if I do stuff to YouTube, it will upload on there, so it allows me to do scheduling much more easily rather than having to go uploading here and uploading here and uploading here. And it seems to have quite a decent, from what I've heard, like a monetizing policy. But one kind of downside to it, and I don't like this idea, but the reason I haven't gone with it is because of the idea of guilt by association. Even though a lot of people who use BitShoot are giving out sort of normal videos, there are a lot of extreme political, shall we say, videos that go up on there. And it's a little bit more of a free speech platform. It's kind of developed that reputation. I hate the idea of guilt by association because choosing to put a video on what is essentially a anything video streaming service, you should just be seen as just your own self. But I know that some people will see it as guilt by association, and I don't really feel I can afford to be seen that way. So for the sake of how the site is at the moment, where you can scroll down the front page and see some very, very hateful videos coming up, I don't want people who do believe in the guilt by association thing to see me that way. So that's why I haven't gone with BitShoot. And that's a bit more of a sort of general channel update. And this relates a fair bit actually to what I was saying earlier about the different video platforms I put my videos on. I've actually changed a little bit of my social media. So my SoundCloud ID is now different. I think it used to be soundcloud.com/AdamThomas-5, and now it's soundcloud.com/AdamThomasMusicUK, so that's where you'll be able to find me. I had a Facebook page previously for the little band I started up in uni, which was the Adam Thomas Project, which I'm actually using the same Facebook page, but now I've changed the URL and I've changed the name of it. So you can find it at, if you use the @ system, it's going to be @AdamThomasMusicUK, or if you're going to use the URL, it'll be facebook.com/AdamThomasMusicUK. Also, for the longest time, I've been considering opening up a Twitter, and every time I go to do it, there ends up being some big whole thing going on Twitter, and to be honest, it seems to just be a place where people seem to be so angry and hateful towards one another, but I still kind of wanted to post on a site similar to that. So I've actually checked out Mastodon, which, once again, referring to Peertube before, is a federated social network, which is a sort of a Twitter-like thing. So if you're on anything on the Fediverse, you should be able to find me on Mastodon, and that should be @AdamThomasMusic@mastodon.art. That is the particular instance you can find me on there. Other than that, the only other thing is we have to retire a little bit of branding, and we're going to pay tribute now to my old ending card that I've had for quite a few years now, that had a load of links on it before, and one of the links actually now is technically incorrect after the previous point I've said, and we're now going to be replacing it with this, which is my new ending card, which I think looks a lot fancier. And I've seen a lot of channels that have this sort of ending card where you're in a box and everything else out there, the proper links and everything, and I spent a day on GIMP, the GNU image manipulation program, sort of making this, and I'm really proud about how it's come out, and I think it looks really nice and professional. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing, or following me on Dailymotion or Library, and yeah, I will see you next video. Goodbye.